Hey everyone, welcome back to another Tic Tac Taiko. Today is the first of a two-part video on the diddle. The diddle is a percussion rudiment that's not quite yet a taiko rudiment. I would love to change that. I would love to see diddles introduced into the common taiko vocabulary, if you will. They're very useful, they're not difficult to learn, but I'm getting ahead of myself. A diddle happens when either hand plays two notes in rapid succession. So this would be a diddle. This would not be a diddle. Now where that line is between not and is, I'm not the most qualified person to answer that question. I'm sure there's a Western percussionist out there who might know the answer. That's not important for this video. What's important to know is you have two even notes at the same volume happening rapidly one after the other. As I said in the beginning of this video, the diddle is a Western percussion rudiment, which means a lot of Western percussionists are more familiar and comfortable using the diddle. Plus, they often have the advantage of having drums that are more responsive, more reactive because of the tight head. Your snares, your toms, even your timpanis can be a lot more reactive, where the beater or the stick bounces back with much more force, and it makes the next strike even easier to do, whereas at best you can have a really tight shime that has maybe a similar type of bounce back, but most of us don't play on shime or any drums that are that tight. There are some taiko artists, I think, especially the ones that are really good on katsugi okero or multiple drums, like a set, that have incorporated diddles really well into their solos and compositions. You can put a diddle pretty much anywhere you want. It doesn't matter what kind of bachi you're using, it doesn't matter what kind of drum you're playing on. Although it's generally easier with smaller bachi and a tighter, smaller drum. I'm going to now do a demo. I'm going to solo sprinkling diddles liberally throughout, just to show you the possibility of diddles in a solo. When I diddle, I use one of two different techniques, and sometimes at the same time. They both involve a quick twitch, which is like a tense and release. 1, 2, very quick. The first is the pat, which is squeezing the fingers inwards. Now, essentially, it's this motion, regardless of what grip you have. If it's a bottom grip, if it's the middle grip, if it's the top grip, it's still the same motion. I'm just using all 4 fingers here as an example. The other is I'm not sure what to call it. I'm going to call it a pulse for now. It's this sort of a motion. It's a little bit of a turn. It's a little bit of a punch. So I'm calling it a pulse. And my fingers really aren't doing much at all. I'm kind of rotating on this fulcrum and tilting my wrist forward in a sort of arc like this. I'm not pushing my hand forward, I'm rotating at the wrist. It's mostly the hand muscles, but it involves the forearm muscles as well, a little bit of the bicep, a little bit of the pectoral. So there's a lot going on, but it's happening real quick. And when I combine the two, I'm able to get not so much the spap like I talked about earlier, which is rebounding off of itself, but it's a 1, 2, 1, 2, squeeze, 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 pat, pulse, pulse, pat, 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 whatever I want to do. So sometimes I'm just doing multiple pats, which is kind of like spap, but sometimes I just need one diddle, 2 hits, and it's like a pulse, and as it rebounds, and I'm squeezing the fingers. I could talk about this at length, but really try it. You'll feel what your hand is doing, what your hand wants to do, and you'll feel what's difficult to do at certain speeds. So even though I've given you sort of the building blocks, this is something you have to do, and it's really hard to do slow and feel what muscles have to work. So try it fast with space in between. See what's working for you and what needs improvement. Hello, welcome to the new angle of Tic-Tac-Taiko. I'm just trying this angle out. I thought it might be easier for my viewers to see what's going on with at least one of my hands rather than facing on where you can't really see anything happening except for the bachi going up and down. If you like this, if you don't like this, let me know in the comment section. Anyways, I've got 3 drills and some tips along the way for diddles. The first drill is spaced diddles, just like this. And that's it. You can do them a little faster. If that helps, you can use a metronome to keep you even. You can do them slow, and even though earlier in the video I said that this is not a diddle, it kind of is if you slow it down enough. So if you watch, start slow, eventually build up some tempo as you get more comfortable. But the key to a good diddle is evenness. You don't want it to be like this. That's an exaggeration, but remember, the word is diddle, not diddle, right? It should be even for both notes. And the easiest way to make this happen is to start small. If you start high, now my second note has to be that loud, and the first note started up here. It had so much more advantage. Well, I can try, it's possible, but really the only way to make 2 even notes is to have them come from the same place. So if I start here, I've got to come back to here. And if you want to do it fast, it's not going to come back to here. So when you're practicing, especially at first, keep them low, keep them small. It'll make it so much easier to make them even. But anyways, the second drill is don tsuku. Or don doko if you make everything even. Now you want to make sure you make the other hand start as well so that you balance things out. And that's it. Pretty simple. The last drill is just diddle, 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 back and forth. This one is really good to test your evenness because you're hearing a constant stream of notes. The variation of this, because of course there's a variation, is to intersperse straight beat with diddles. Now this is really good if you're trying to practice evenness because the idea should be if I close my eyes and I listen to you playing diddles, I should not be able to tell whether you're playing straight beat or diddles. It's difficult, but it is absolutely achievable. Now sometimes you've got a drum, like even my drum pad, I can hear a tonal difference, but that aside, the volume and the dynamic should sound the same regardless of which of the rudiments you're doing. And this is fun to do fast, but you still want to make sure that you're going for even, not just speed. Now next, part 2, which is probably next week, I have diddle drills that are more flowy in nature. So you start with the right, start with the left. These are a lot more simple, but they're great places to start. As to why you would want to do diddles, why would you want to practice diddles? Why wouldn't you? Even if you never ever do diddles, just practicing the pulse and pat technique are making your strike even stronger, even faster. And what taiko player wouldn't want that? Also, I find that the more I practice diddles, the more I focus on them, the more they come up in my solos just naturally. I might think, okay, in this bar, I'm going to put a couple of diddles in there, but all of a sudden, boom, there's a diddle. And it almost always works out for the best. Diddles are just fun, sort of low effort, high reward techniques that every single taiko player can take advantage of. And that's part one of Diddles, the new taiko rudiment. If you like this video, let me know with a thumbs up. If you have comments on the diddle or any other rudiments you'd like to see me cover, let me know in the comment section below. And new subscribers, I know some of you haven't subscribed yet. I see you, you. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button, let me know that you like the channel. When I hit 200, which is soon, I'll do something special. Don't know what that is yet. I'll come up with something that's special. Anyways, until next time, keep diddling and be well.